On the William & Mary campus, safe escort is considered especially important. In Williamsburg, the dedicated brothers who serve the school are members of an elite group known as Alpha Phi Omega. These are their stories.
So one really great thing I think I've done with Escort is there was this guy and he was an athlete and he was a freshman and he suffered like a knee injury or something. But athletes have mandatory study hall at SWEM. So he had to be at SWEM on nights where I was at Escort. And he would call when he had to leave to go home because he couldn't walk home. So he was able to get to SWEM before 9 p.m. with student accessibility services. But after that, he relied on Campus Escort to take him home. And that just felt really nice knowing that we were the reason this kid could get home at night safely and comfortably.
I really appreciate Campus Escort. One night in particular that comes to mind is that another brother and I were waiting outside my dorm one night, and all of a sudden a car pulled up, a really sketchy black van, and the guy opened the door and kind of like gestured for us to get into the car, and I was terrified, and so was my friend, and then all of a sudden Campus Escort pulled up and we got to hop onto the cart and drive away, and it honestly made like my life so much better.
It was weekend escort, the first weekend of school, and there was, as many of you probably already know, there was something of a dangerous situation down at the Crust. There was a guy discharged a firearm a couple times, and the police had to get involved, and it was kind of a mess because there wasn't a lot of information going around. And
yeah, so we like started by picking one person up and taking her back to the dorm, and she seemed pretty nervous about the shooting. And so we kind of calmed her down by like joking around, because that's what we had been doing the whole night, like
yeah,
just really goofing off in the cart, but keeping it like safe, like just kind of like doing it back and forth with each other.
Yeah.
But like we got a lot of calls that night, like after that.
Yeah, we went on at least like 4 runs in one go. There was a lot of people calling, a lot of people freaking out, and it was kind of hard to find people too, because they were staying inside, obviously, because that's the safest thing to do, but like we were kind of having to look around for them and stuff, and it was all in all a very strange situation, but in the end, I feel like we really helped out the people that were freaking out, because a lot of them were freshmen, and we had a good number of them were foreign exchange students that had just gotten into the country a week prior to that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Our last run was like 2 exchange students who were like kind of like freaking out, and like they had been with friends, and they're like, oh yeah, we just texted our parents that like the shooting happened. They're going to freak out, and we're like, oh, it's okay, like don't worry, and like got them back safely, but still it's like a really scary situation to be in. I feel better knowing that I could help people like, get home safely when they were out too, because I know if I were in that situation, I'd want that safe ride back.
Yeah, but kind of what made it all worth it, I think, in the end, was that we had one of those students tell us, the escort, that we're basically heroes to them. Like kind of like everybody loves Campus Escort because you can always like rely on them to be there and also make it a fun time too, because people just, it really made a difference, because we were kind of freaking out too, and then we realized that, hey, like it really does make a difference going out there and giving people rides and making them feel safe and making them feel happy. So yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.